I want to get something very clear. Being a full-time photographer does not mean you are earning a full-time income. Of course, if you're hired and you have a full-time job with a company that, pays you a salary or a wage, sure, you're making a full-time income. However, if you're a full-time freelancing photographer, different story. Today, we're going to be covering how I personally make a full-time income as a photographer, specifically as a travel photographer, and how you can start to do the same. Maybe you don't want to be a travel photographer, sure, that's fine, but I'm going to be covering some very interesting ways that you can make money as a photographer today, a freelancing photographer specifically. And you definitely don't need to travel or even leave the comfort of your own city. Now, there are so many ways that you can make money as a photographer, and this is just one of the ways that I make money as a photographer, and I want to walk you through it. And just before we dive in though, if you do want to go and make $500 this weekend as a photographer using a completely different strategy than the one I'm going to walk you through today, you can head down to the first link in the description where you can sign up to a free course that I've made, a complete walkthrough guide that will help you make $500 this weekend with your camera as a photographer. So if that sounds of interest to you, go ahead and sign up down below, and I promise you'll enjoy it. Okay, so what is this strategy? What is this way I'm gonna walk you through today? Well, it's shooting e-commerce products. Now, what are e-commerce products? Well, I'll be honest with you, e-commerce products are literally anything. They could be a water bottle, a wallet, whatever the case, anything that's sold on the internet. People are always gonna need content for them. Businesses and companies are always gonna need photos, they're gonna need ad creatives, they're gonna need social media posts, whatever the case, they're gonna need content of the products they're selling so people can actually see what on earth they're buying. And believe it or not, if you get good enough at this, you can easily make a full-time income just from shooting products. You can do it year round, you can do it from anywhere in the world, and it pays very well, believe me. Now, I've shot for clothing, tech, alcohol, food, jewelry brands, you name it, and I'm still shooting it today. The reason is, whenever I go and travel, I can simply take a handful of products with me from a handful of different brands, snap some photos, all in the same location, yet because they're in completely different industries and they don't know anything about each other, they're from different countries, they're from different states, whatever the case, it doesn't matter if they're from the same location and they overlap. And all of a sudden, I can cover my flights, I can cover my hotels, I can cover my food costs, I can cover everything just from bringing a handful of e-commerce products with me. Maybe I should stop saying e-commerce products and just call them products. And like I mentioned before, these brands need social media content, they need ads content, and they need content for their website, and that's exactly what I offer them. All right, so with that out of the way, you understand the general idea and gist of how it all works, but how do you land an e-commerce client? How do you get someone to send you their product more or less for free and then pay you for the photos that you take? Well, there are two ways, and I'm gonna walk you through one, but I'll share both of them with you. So let's get this second one out of the way. You can go ahead and find a load of companies that you have some kind of interest in, cold DM, cold email, outreach to these companies and ask them if you can work for them. Ask them if they can send you products and you can shoot them. Start at maybe an introductory rate, send them over your portfolio and go from there. However, this one takes a whole load of time, and usually a lot of brands get reached out to on a daily basis. So it's just going in the folder of, yeah, we'll get to it later, and surprise, surprise, they'll never get to it later. The second way though, this is the interesting one, and this is the one that I've been using for quite a while. It does unfortunately require a little bit of upfront money to be spent on the product itself. Surprise, surprise, we're buying it. And then you're gonna go and shoot it for free just to be able to show the brand what you can do. For example, let's say I was really passionate about water bottles, for example. Maybe I like this brand. I have no idea what brand of water bottle this is. I go and buy it and I go out and shoot 10, 15, 20 photos of this water bottle. By the way, the company at this point has no idea who I am. I'm just a customer. Then I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna edit these photos, I'm gonna make them look amazing. I've spent a lot of time on them, and then I'm gonna send them over to the company with watermarks to just show them what I can do. This is better than any portfolio. This is better than cold outreach because they can see what you can actually do for the company right away. There's no, maybe they don't understand our style, maybe they won't understand how to shoot water bottles, because you're doing it for them and you're showing the company you can do it with their brand already, and you've done it free of charge so far. Now, this is probably the best way to build a solid relationship from the jump with any brand. Does it work all the time? Absolutely not. Sometimes you'll buy the product, you'll shoot it, you'll edit it, you'll send it off, and you won't even get a response. Now, you should have some kind of email flow afterwards to be able to follow up with these people and make sure they see your work, but it doesn't always pay off. When it does, however, I swear to you, there's no greater feeling. Now, maybe after you've tried this once, twice, 3 times, you've got a reply and someone is quite keen to get started with you. Depending on where you are in your photography journey will really depend on how much you're going to charge. Personally, where I'm at right now, I charge between $80 to $200 per image. Now, that might sound like a lot, or that might not sound like much at all, depending on where you are in your photography journey. But depending on what brand it is, how much work is required, and what I need to organize for a shoot to do well, I'll charge accordingly. Maybe it will be more than $200 per photo. Maybe it'll be less than $80 per photo. With that said, where I am in my photography journey though, I find $80 to $200 per photo is where brands are saying yes and where I can make a solid profit. Now let's quickly just dive into a few numbers. Let's say over the course of 6 months, you manage to land 2 or 3 of these clients. And let's say you get them on a monthly retainer where you're delivering them maybe 20 photos a month. And let's say on the lower end, you're charging them $50 per photo. Okay, let's say you've got 3 clients, 20 photos per client per month. That is $3,000 a month just for shooting product photos. In my opinion, not a bad deal whatsoever. Can you live on $3,000? Well, depending on where you live, sure, you can. And maybe you can't as well. If you're living in downtown New York, look, I'm not saying you can live on $3,000 a month. That's up for you to decide. However, if this isn't the only way you make money as a photographer, I can tell you right now, this is a great way to add a little bit more income, supplement your income in different ways, and also stay creative. Let's say you had a water bottle company and a wallet company, and then maybe a camera company, maybe not a camera company. All of a sudden, you can bring in a whole load of cash and have a whole load of fun doing so. Now, I know I've glossed over quite a few things in this video. However, if you want a full detailed walkthrough breakdown guide of exactly how you can land your first e-commerce client, I have the complete walkthrough inside of my Ultimate Photography Bundle, which you can go and access now. It's also linked in the description under the how you can make $500 this weekend with your camera guide. That one's for free, by the way. So you can go and check both of those out, linked in the description, and you'll be making money with your camera in no time. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new around here, a subscribe would mean the absolute world. If you learned something today, let me know what it was in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.